Well, hello from the MKM Stadium. It's a very, very happy Christmas for Hull City and their supporters. Finally, after 80 long days, Hull City have a victory, and it was fully deserved as well, beating Swansea by 2-1. The manner of the scoreline may not look like it was that convincing, but I think anybody that was here today would have felt that City were fully deserving of their victory. Some really good chances were not taken, but thankfully they took 2 of them and Swansea only took 1. So 80 days at the 14th attempt. Let's go through the stats. They were 13 games without a victory. They'd lost 7 of 8. They'd won once at home all season. That was the game against Cardiff. They were bottom of the league. And now it looks like, obviously, other results pending at half-time, second half's getting underway as we record this. But they won't be bottom at Christmas, and for a time until Plymouth scored against Middlesbrough. They were out of the bottom 3. But anyway, the most important thing is that City have won a game. It's Ruben Serge's first win at the 3rd attempt. That's 4 points from 2 home games. So, look, he's clearly got something going here. And, look, City were full value. The game started off really poorly, scrappy affair, very quiet stadium. Not helped by the 12:30 kickoff, if we're brutally honest. But City gradually worked their way into the game. There was a part of you that thought, here we go again, when Ryan Giles, I think Charlie Hughes played a lovely incisive ball down the left-hand side. Ryan Giles ran onto it, picked out Regan Slater. Lou, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it, really? It's a feeling that we've not had for a long time. But yeah, Joao picked out Regan, 5 yards out, centre of goal, completely unmarked. And look, Regan's celebrating before he's even hit it. And I spoke to Regan in the week about the need to add more goals to his games, because the amount of times he gets in those positions and he gets himself into some fantastic positions, but he doesn't score. And again, he flashed it wide, and you're thinking, if you've not seen the replay, look at it, because it gets worse every time, bless him, Regan. And that was at 0-0, and you're thinking, bloody hell, here we go. It's going to be another one of them games. And then Puerta does brilliantly, back in the team today, does brilliantly to fashion a chance for himself, hits the post. It cannons back off the goalkeeper and away for a corner. How many times have we seen that cannon back off the goalkeeper and into the back of the net? I think we saw it last season with Liam Delap. And then, you're thinking, here we go again. They're on top. They're the one dominant force in the game. Swansea, a bit of a threat on the counter-attack, but nothing really to worry about. And then they go in front. Joao Pedro, his 4th goal for the club. Really, really good finish, albeit deflected at the near post. And they go 1-0 up, just after half an hour. You're like, right, go on then. Go and win the game. Whatever you do, don't concede straight away. And they conceded pretty much straight. I think it was 8 minutes. So that's 3 games under Ruben. 3 times they've gone in the lead, and 3 times they've conceded within 10 minutes. And it was a really poor goal to give away. Josh Timon back on his old stomping ground. I'm sure with a lot of family in the ground watching. Incidentally, Josh Timon, I think that was his 6th game against City since leaving in 2017. 4 wins and a draw before today, and I think a couple of assists in there as well. Yeah, so he pinged over the cross. Harry Darling, really good header at the back post. Not great defensively from City, and that was 1-1. And you're like, they've been the better side in the first half. They've been the dominant force. They've created some belting chances, and they're going into half time 1-1. And you're like, oh no, when is this going to change? And in fairness, in the second half, they were so much better. They were brighter. They were first to it. They were aggressive in the press. They kept winning the ball high. An example of that was Joao Pedro won the ball pretty much off the goalkeeper on the edge of the box, took it round the goalkeeper, but couldn't get there was a defender there covering. He couldn't get the ball out of his feet. He went wide, and then sort of he tried to. He obviously felt bad. He tried to fashion a chance for himself, and it came to nothing in the end. But that was kind of symptomatic of City being really aggressive in the press and just winning the ball off Swansea so many times. And then eventually the winning goal, Mason Burstow, one of the changes, came off the bench. He won the ball off the goalkeeper high up, cut inside and bent a bloody lovely effort into the top corner. 81 minutes I think that was. And they never looked back. And then moments later, Ryan Longman hit the post. And again, because of we've been trained to think negatively, haven't we, over the last 3 or 4 months of how things have gone for City. And even in the last 2 games, our short-term memory is like, well, they've got in front, they're going to concede again. But they were on the front foot. They wanted to get that 3rd goal and kill it off rather than sit back like so many teams do. And a team bottom of the table that doesn't win football matches, you could be forgiven for thinking, right, sit back, put 11 men behind the ball and just accept you're going to be battered for the next 15 minutes until the full-time whistle, but give nothing away. But they were trying to be proactive. They were trying to play on the front foot. And that's what Ruben wants them to do. He wants them to be, he doesn't want them to sit back and retreat. He wants them to go and kill a game off. And you admire that. At times you think, look, just try and sit him for a little bit and whatnot. But no, they kept at it and they nearly, you know, they didn't, can't even speak. They nearly got that 3rd goal, and they would have deserved, if it had finished 3 or 4-1, they would have deserved that, I think, City, because of how, you know, the stats perhaps don't necessarily reflect the dominance that you felt that City had in the game watching it. But when you think, I know Swansea had a couple of late chances and a couple of late scares, but you know, they're a good side. They've been in and around the top 6 all season. I know they had a poor result against Sunderland, but they were 2-0 up. But I thought they were poor today, and City were much the better side. They didn't at any point, probably bar the first 5 or 6 minutes, look like a team struggling. They looked confident on the ball. They looked confident off the ball. They were creating good moments. They perhaps just lacked that little bit of quality in the final third that we've seen at times, well, throughout the season, in fairness. But even in the final, you know, there were 4 minutes added on. Thankfully, the referee played 4 minutes. As soon as Ivor Panda collected the ball and kicked it, the referee blew his whistle. So we played about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And honestly, the roar at full time, hearing status quo at the end of the game was magical. And I just felt coming to the ground this morning that City were going to win today. And it, you know, I know they lost at Coventry. They didn't play particularly well last week, but I just felt the mood in the camp, speaking to the players, the manager, the performance against Watford, Swansea's, you know, what Luke Williams said in the week. He was critical of his players in the build up to the game this weekend. You know, Santa Claus being here before the game. Noel Hebbs, the City fan, was treated to a special day. He was 100 on Thursday. Just everything about today just felt a little bit different. And obviously, if we'd have lost, it is what it is. But yeah, and I thought the performance merited it. Yeah, it really did. From back to front, I thought they were good. The changes made a difference. Puerto, as you say, Puerto was brilliant today in that number 8 role. The bad news is that Casey Palmer's out for 6 to 8 weeks with an ankle problem, but it's other players to step up, and I felt like Puerto was very good today. It probably his best performance in a City shirt. And I thought Stephen Alzate was very, very good as well. And, you know, Kamara, I didn't think Kamara was great. Longman was decent down the right-hand side. Burstow, Nigel, as you say, yeah, came off the bench and had a real good impact, and that's what you want. Burstow's got that. He's got that impact. He's quick. He's lively, and he's still only young. But that finish was tremendous, and hopefully that will give him an awful lot of confidence, and the team as well. Because look, let's not sugarcoat it. It's been really, really poor at times over the last few months. It's been a hard watch here. You know, that's just a 4th win in 2024. So I'm really pleased for the fans, because, you know, turning up week after week after week all year in 2024, 24 games, and that's just a 4th win. It's been a tough watch, hasn't it? Let's be honest. So the final home game of the year, the final home game before Christmas. I think we're all now going into Christmas buzzing, aren't we? Let's be honest. Whether we're in the bottom 3 or out the bottom 3 come the end of play this weekend, the chances are we're not going to be bottom of the table. And 3 points just makes everybody feel better. It gives us a bit of hope. It gives everybody that bit of hope going to Preston on Boxing Day, and then Blackburn, and then you've got Middlesbrough and Leeds to come here, the first 2 games of the new year, followed by the McCann Derby and the FA Cup. You know, had it have been another defeat, or if Swansea had nicked a point at the end of it, we'd have all come away feeling absolutely crestfallen, absolutely gutted that, you know, you've led, like the Watford game, you've played well, you've not won the game. And, you know, I did think in the final 15 minutes before Mason scored, if we don't win this game, it has the hallmarks of a team that are going to really go close to being relegated, because they've played well again. They've gone in front, they've conceded a poor goal, and they've not won the game. And that was the feeling that at 1-1, but they kept going. And like I say, you know, the only criticism today is the manner of the goal they conceded, and obviously the pass up, particularly that Regan chance. And he'll be, of everybody connected with Hull City tonight, I can almost guarantee that Regan will be the most relieved person associated with Hull City, because had we have not won that game, he would have been having nightmares about that missed chance. Knowing Regan, he's a great lad and he works his socks off for this football club, and you know, he would have felt it if we'd have not won that game. So look, you can't begrudge them. I thought they played really well. I thought they dominated the game, created some good chances, and got their rewards in the end. And now they enjoy tonight. I think we'll all enjoy Christmas, hopefully, and then pick it up again on Boxing Day at Preston. Go to Preston, get a positive result. And again, the thing in the Championship, and we all know it. We've been involved in it or watched it for long enough to know that confidence is so important. Momentum is another key word, and I think for City now is to start putting, you know, they've gone on a bad run of results without a win. Now is the key to put a few results together and try, and even if they only get a point at Preston, that would be a point. Again, it stops the run of defeats away from home, and it would be a point in the right direction. Suddenly you go, well, actually that's 4 points from 2 games. That's a big stepping stone. Then you go to Blackburn and try and, you know, you've got to try and eke out a couple of positive results away from home, because obviously, you know, looking further ahead, those 2 home games against Borough and Leeds are really, really difficult. So, but I don't want to take anything away from tonight, and I think we all need, I'm sort of glad for all of us that we've got, that particularly the players and the fans, because you've got a bit of a break now till Boxing Day. You've got Christmas to come, and everybody can just enjoy that, you know, the Christmas, have a sherry on Christmas Day and enjoy it, because it's been a long time coming. As I say, 13 games without victory in the 14th attempt. You know, it's been home form here has been some of the performances at home have been really bad, and to get a positive result, to win the game, and I'm pleased for the manager as well, because he's come in, he's had a real impact, he's made a difference in the way the players think, the way the players are behaving, the way the players are operating. He's obviously organised them, he's got them playing, you know, a positive attacking brand of football. I just really liked how aggressive they were today, how dominant at times they were on the ball. Yes, Swansea had a bit more possession, but they didn't do much with it. You expect Swansea, I think, even against a Liam Rossini or a Tim Walter team, Swansea probably would have had a bit more possession, or it would have been closer. But it was what City did with the ball that was good today, and I really like that. It was just they were much more aggressive, and you know, there was I spoke to Regan in the week, as I mentioned, about kind of that Watford game where, and he brought it up actually, how he missed his challenge in the build-up to Watford's equaliser, and there was a moment today where Swansea tried to attack, and he wanted to put the Swansea player out of play. He won the ball on just inside our half, it was just by the halfway line, and he made sure he was going to win the ball. And there was a Joao Pedro moment where he won the ball, and Giles as well, and to a man they won their challenges, they won their tackles, and they weren't going to allow Swansea to do what Watford did a couple of weeks ago and snatch a point late on, because that would have been absolutely devastating for everybody. So, yeah, Louise, Mason, you would have heard or read the interview we did with Mason after the Middlesbrough game, where he spoke about what it was like under the former regime and how he really struggled. And I think Mason's a player. I don't think Mason does that previously, that confidence to step in win the ball from the press, step in and bend it into the top corner. That, I don't think for Mason we see that perhaps before. So he's obviously got a lot of confidence from the new manager, and I think they all have. I think they all look more confident. I think they're playing further forward. They're playing 10, 15, 20, 30 yards further up the pitch. They're trying to, look, we've said this before, that you're going to struggle to beat a team in your own half. You know, yeah, okay, Liam Rossini would say we invite the press on, we invite the opposition press onto the edge of our box, and we try and play through it, and we create the chances from that. And that at times that worked more away from home than it did at home. I think of Southampton away back in February as an example. But you're going to hurt teams more and more if you have the ball in their half, and that was a shining example. You win the ball off their goalkeeper, you win the ball off their centre halves, you're going to create a moment from it, and they created chances from that, and ultimately they created the winning goal from that today, and that was really, really positive. That's what I like to see. So just huge credit to the manager, the staff, and for concocting that tactical plan, and the players for going out and delivering it. So look, yeah, for everybody, what a fantastic result, fully deserved. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't, stealing it in the last minute. The scoreline may have only been 2-1, but the performance was much more kind of dominant than the scoreline suggests. And hopefully, as I say, after Christmas and into the new year, this can be a big stepping stone. What it can't be, and I don't want to get into looking too far ahead and kind of trying to put a negative slant on it, if you can call it that. But I think this has now got to be the stepping stone. This can't be a one-off where you go to Preston and you get beat, and then you lose at Blackburn and you get beat by Middlesbrough and Leeds, and suddenly you've gone from winning one to losing 4 in a row, and you're back bottom of the table, and it's, well, where's a win coming from? We have to, City, and the challenge for Ruben and his players now is to prove this isn't a one-off, to prove that this is, they've got the ability, they've got the quality to now go and build on this and go and put a run together and start moving up the table, rather than letting it be a one-off and, as I say, back to square one. So that is their challenge. But hey, that's for Boxing Day. For now, I think we can all revel, Luke, as well. Yeah, revel in 3 points and 3 deserved points. A home win, a first win in 80 days, first win since October the 1st here against Cardiff. The clean sheet we wait for, but hopefully that'll come in. I think it's 117 days since the last clean sheet, the Millwall game here on August the 24th. So hopefully that comes. So like I say, it's great. Everybody gets to go home and have a nice Christmas, hopefully. And we'll do it all again on Boxing Day. A couple of things to mention before we go. As I said before, I think I mentioned it earlier on. Casey Palmer, ankle problem, out for the next 6 to 8 weeks, which is a real blow for Casey, because obviously he'd been feeling better since the change in manager. Although he was poor at Coventry last week, he had been, one of City's better players, and in the weeks before that, in the games before that. So, but look, Gustavo Puerto stepped in today, had a really good game. So now it's up to him to have his, to stake a claim for his place. And if he doesn't, you've got Abdouche in there, and Malem came off the bench today. Maybe he takes his chance. They might sign somebody in January. Yeah, Louise, look, I don't want to, at risk of sounding like Ruben's biggest fanboy and getting a bit like Jed from Alan Partridge, I've been a massive fan of Ruben for months and months and months, and I'm particularly feel like I've got a vested interest in this, because if you listen to the podcast, which will be out Monday morning, by the way, if you listen to the 1904 Club, you would have known that I've been championing Ruben for months, dating back to when Liam left. He'd have been my choice at that point. It wasn't to be, but he's here now, and so I kind of feel like, I've got a bit of extra vested interest in Ruben being successful. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's had a big impact already, and ultimately a manager, a judged. There's a lot of stuff the managers do behind the scenes that perhaps fans don't see. Stuff, the way they operate with the players at the training ground, away from the glare of the media on a match day. But Ruben is a genuinely nice bloke. If just fish out the stuff he did at Reading when the staff weren't getting paid, and he didn't get paid, and he refused to take his salary in solidarity with yeah, you won't be seeing my chest, James. Nobody needs to see that. Yeah, it's the stuff he did at Reading with all their troubles, their financial troubles, and just the way he carried himself at Reading. Just do a bit of reading if you've not already, to find out what this guy is like. And I think he's the sort of guy you want in charge of your football club, a bit like Liam was. Liam was a great ambassador for the football club when he was in charge, and I think Ruben is similar to that. And yes, he's not got the history with this football club like Liam did, but I think he can build his own. And but ultimately, it will come down to what he does out there. If his team win football matches, Ruben will be the manager of this football club, hopefully for a period of time to come. He said himself, if he goes 12 games without a win or loses 10 in 12, he might be out of a job. He's realistic. He knows what this job is like. It's ruthless. We've seen it with Liam. Liam finished 7th, and that wasn't good enough to keep him in a job. So Ruben knows that if he will have to get results, but he'll also have to do it in a way that Adjun likes, that Adjun finds attractive. And I think, based on what we've seen in the first 2 home games, 4 points, a few goals, lots of chances, I think the signs augur well for the future. But as we say, we all know, none of us are naive to this. We know that results dictate how a manager is, how successful a manager is, and how long he gets in the job. And he's praying and hoping that Ruben continues to get results, continues to get his team, a team at the bottom of the table playing in that manner. And I think he'll be here for a while to come. But yeah, I really hope, I particularly hope he does well, because he's a really potentially a really talented manager, and I think City have got a diamond there, and hopefully that it transpires to be that. Alas, football isn't always how we would like it. It doesn't always follow the narrative, does it? But he's made a very good start to, a win and a draw and a defeat in his first 3 games. Is for a team that at bottom of the table, I think that's a decent start. I know Coventry have got pumped 4-1 at Portsmouth today, but City were well below par and deserved to get beat last week. But they've taken 4 points from 2 home games, and that is a positive. That's a positive step forward. And 3 points is look. I just think we all feel better, don't we? We'll all feel. Everybody associated with this football club feels better today, and we can all, as I say, we can all go and enjoy Christmas. Yeah, Luke, Plymouth will do what Plymouth will do. We can't. City, you need a bit of help from other teams always, of course you do. But the key thing today was winning the game, and they've won the game. It's unlikely now that City will be bottom at Christmas, and the team that's bottom of Christmas in the Championship, 7 teams out of the last 10 have got relegated. So that was a thing to avoid. It doesn't guarantee anything being bottom of Christmas, but the stats aren't great in your favour. So we needed to. It's embarrassing, for a team that was finished 7th in the table to them in May to then be bottom of the table at Christmas is embarrassing for this football club. So that was important. It may still happen yet. Oxford might go and win at Leeds. Cardiff might beat Sheffield United, and Plymouth may well beat Middlesbrough. And then suddenly it don't look great. But all that mattered today, the only thing that mattered today was Hull City winning the football match, and that's what they've done, and that's all we can control. Can't control anything else, and that was the main thing. So look, I'm going to go home, tap out. God knows how much, because I'm supposed to be off now until Christmas. I am going to be recording the podcast on Monday, because I think I want to do that, and I think let's bask in the glory of a rare victory. So, but there's plenty to come over the next few days leading to Christmas. Yeah, thanks Luke, because I haven't got any score updates at the minute. So you're my video printer right now. So that's good news. So that basically means that City won't be bottom at Christmas. So that is another positive today. So look, I'm waffling on as always. I apologise for that in advance. But look, happy Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for all your comments throughout the year. We'll be back. We will have the podcast for you on Monday. That'll be out at some point on Monday on all podcast channels and on the YouTube channel as well. And all that's left for me to say is have a great Christmas. And I'm sure that everybody associated with this football club, fans, players, staff, I think we'll all have a better Christmas than we may have done. So happy Christmas, one and all. Season's greetings. And if I don't hear from you, don't speak to you before, have a great Christmas. Hope you have a bit of time with your families, your friends, and we will see you at Deepdale on Boxing Day. Up the time.